and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at how to use your databook effectively. This video is for the updated version of the databook from 2021. Please be aware that older videos may refer to different pages and values than you will have in your current databook. The first page that we come across is the contents page. You are now at the stage where you will need to use every page of your databook, so please become familiar with what is in the databook. On page 4, you have the relationships for both higher and advanced higher. At this red line here, these are the ones that you came across in higher, but will probably still have to use at advanced higher, and those below the red line are those that we will now start to use in advanced higher. On page 5 of your databook, you have an alphabetical list of the elements in order here with their symbols and their relative atomic mass. These relative atomic masses have been updated to be more accurate. You will need to use these when doing gram formula mass for calculations. On page 6, you have a selected part of the periodic table, so you don't have the two lines at the bottom, and this shows you the melting and boiling points of some of the elements. Be aware that we have a star here for beryllium, which means that this boiling point applies at 28 atmospheres, so increased pressure, and the little cross beside carbon means that it sublimes, so this goes from solid to gas rather than melting or boiling. You can use this to identify what state an element would be in at a particular temperature. If you start at a solid and heat it up until it gets to the melting point, you will then have a liquid. If you then continue heating to the boiling point, then you will get a gas. Using the values in each of the boxes where you have the melting point in bold and the boiling point in gas, you'll be able to work out if you have a solid, liquid or gas. If the temperature that you're given is below the melting point, it will be a solid. If it's between the melting and boiling point, it's a liquid. And if it's above the boiling point, it would be a gas. On page 7, you have the covalent radii of selected elements. You looked at covalent radii last year as a measure of the size of an atom. Covalent radii decreases going across a period due to increasing nuclear charge, and it increases going down a group due to increasing shielding. Page 8 shows you the full periodic table. This is your most useful periodic table within the databook. It no longer shows you where the metals and non-metal line is. You're expected to know where that is. So it's underneath hydrogen, across the top of the transition metals, and then a staircase starting underneath boron. Everything below and to the left of the line is a metal, and everything above is a non-metal. This periodic table shows you the atomic number, the symbol, the electron arrangement, and the name for each of the elements on the periodic table. This is particularly useful when you're looking at the transition metals, where electron arrangement will be key to both their colour and their charge. Page 9 shows you the group ion table at the top, which is useful for writing formulae, and the solubilities of different compounds at the bottom. Page 10 has the melting and boiling points of some of the oxides. Some of those have sublimation temperatures rather than melting and boiling points, and also for some of the selected chlorides. At the bottom, you have the melting and boiling points of different organic compounds, including some new ones that you'll look at this year, benzene and the ethers. On page 11, you have the enthalpy of formation and enthalpy of combustion of selected substances. So the enthalpy of formation is the enthalpy change associated with the formation of 1 mole of a substance from its elements in their standard states. You'll be looking at enthalpy of formation more closely this year. You've also got the enthalpy of combustion, which you used last year when you were looking at Hess's law, which is the enthalpy of a reaction when you have 1 mole of a substance burned completely in oxygen. At the bottom, you have the bond enthalpies. We've got the bond enthalpies for diatomic elements, so the energy required to break the two atoms up, and mean bond enthalpies for bonds which can be found in more than one environment. At the very bottom, you have the enthalpy of sublimation of carbon. On page 12, you have the ionization energies, and these are split into the periods. So you have period 1, period 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The ionization energy is the energy required to remove 1 mole of electrons from 1 mole of atoms in the gaseous state. You then also have the second and third shown in this table. And then we have the electronegativity values, so the attraction for a bonding pair of electrons. The higher the number, the higher the attraction. On page 13, you have the electrochemical series, which are written as standard reduction potentials. We're on to now some pages which were used at advanced higher and are not used in higher. So the first is on page 14. So you have the dissociation constants of certain substances. So you have the Ka values, which we'll use when you're looking at acids, and the pKa values, also used when looking at acids. You've also got acid-base indicators, so everything on this page is really to do with acids. So you have a list of different indicators and the pH range over which their colour changes. On page 15, you have the infrared correlation table. This is used when looking at infrared spectroscopy, which can give us information about the structure of a molecule. So on this, you have the wave number, so where you will find the stretch. It then tells you what type of compound you would have and what particular atoms are involved. On page 16, we have various different flame colours. So we have the gas discharge lamps, metal vapour lamps, and flame colours, where you're given the element, the different wavelengths, and the particular colours seen for each of the wavelengths. This is useful for Unit 1. On page 17, you have the proton NMR spectra correlation chart. NMR is another type of spectroscopy which is used to give information about the structure of a molecule. On this chart, you can see that you have a black line with some numbers written on it. This shows you the range of where you might find the peaks on an NMR spectra. Down the side here, you have the different types of atoms that would be involved, and the one in bold is the one that you're interested in. So for example, in this top line, we have hydrogens, which are all part of alkanes, whereas down here we have a hydrogen, which is part of a aldehyde group. On page 18, you have ionic radii for certain ions, and you also have entropy values for selected substances. This page will be useful when looking at reaction feasibility. On page 19, you have the colour wheel, which is useful when you are looking at either the colours of transition metal compounds or organic compounds. And then finally, page 20, where we have some constants that you'll use. The physical constants that you'll use in here, you will use when you're looking at energy calculations. And then you also have the ionic product of water, which you'll use in acid calculations. And at the bottom, we have the thermodynamic temperatures, so 0 degrees Celsius being 273 Kelvin. Let's have a look at using a databook. I want you to pause the video now and try and find the page and value for each of these. The first question asks us to find the state of germanium at 800 degrees. This means that we need to use page 6, and we need to compare this number to the melting and boiling points. This is below the melting point, and therefore germanium would be a solid at this temperature. The third ionisation energy of neon will be found on page 12 and is 6,122. The orange-yellow wavelength for helium is going to be within the gas discharge lamps for helium, which you'll find on page 16, where you'll have a number of different wavelengths for helium, but the orange-yellow wavelength is 588. The equation for Kw you will find on your relationships page on page 4, which is Kw equals the concentration of the hydrogen ions multiplied by the concentration of hydroxide ions. The electron arrangement of nickel you will find on the full periodic table on page 8, and it is 2, 8, 16, 2. The reduction potential for calcium is on page 13, and the value for reduction potential itself for this is negative 2.87. The NMR shift for the hydroxyl group you will find on page 17 and is between 1 and 6. The accurate relative atomic mass for cobalt you will find on page 5 and is 58.9. The boiling point of ethoxyethane, which is an ether, is on page 10 and is 34. The ionic radius of the vanadium 3 ion you will find on page 18 and is 64. The covalent radius of manganese you will find on page 7 and is 129. The Ka for hydrocyanic acid you will find on page 14 and is 6.2 times 10 to the minus 10. The standard enthalpy of formation of ethine is on page 11 and is 227. Your standard entropy of iron as a solid is on page 18, 27. The nitrile CN stretch in the infrared you can find on page 15 and is between 2260 and 2215. Barium flame colour you will find on the flame page on page 16 and is green. The colour that is found between 380 and 400 nanometers you will find on the colour wheel on page 19 and is purple. Planck's constant is on the final page, page 20, and is 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34. The electronegativity of sulphur you'll find on page 12 and is 2.6. And finally, the indicator with a pH range of 6.8 to 8.4 is going to be on the acids page, which is page 14, and this one is phenol red. Let's have a look now at working out which pages of the databook would be useful for certain questions. Pause the video now and have a think about which page you would use for this question. So for this question, although it mentions lowest standard entropy, it's looking at a particular temperature. So this would be looking at melting and boiling points, which is on page 6. Which page would you use for this question? In this question, you've been given an extended electron configuration here. So you'd want to find the electron configuration on page 8 of the databook. Which page would you use for this question? Here we're looking at a colour for colorimetry, and we've been given some wavelengths in nanometers. This means you would want to use the colour wheel on page 19. Which page would you use for this question? Here you've got an infrared spectrum and you've been given a wave number, so you'd want to use the infrared correlation chart, which you will find on page 15. And finally, which page would you use for this question? Here you're being asked to write an expression for Ka. You can find the basic expressions that you can use to base this on your relationships page on page 4. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that you found it helpful. Please remember to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at MissAdamsChem and Instagram MissAdamsChemistry for updates on new videos and flashcards throughout the year. Bye for now.